Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going through this 7-part Microsoft series on Entity Framework, or EF, Database First with ASP.NET MVC. We're up to Part 3 of 7, where we're going to be generating our views. Alright, and as it says, this part of the series focuses on using ASP.NET scaffolding to generate the controllers and views. Now this is very similar to what we did in the past. Alright, so let's just start with it. You are ready to generate code that will provide standard data operations for the model classes. You add the code by adding a scaffolded item. There are many options for the type of scaffolding, etc. To maintain consistency in the project, you will add the new controller to the consisting controllers folder. I added it right to my project, but I really probably should have added it to the controllers folder. So again, I'm going to follow the steps as they're laid out in here. So I'm going to right mouse click on my controllers folder, click add new scaffolded item. So I'm going to right mouse click, let me close my models for now, right mouse click on my controllers folder. In fact, let me close, I will leave these open, it's not going to hurt anything. And I'm going to choose add new scaffolded item. Okay, you've seen this before. Alright. Select the MVC5 controller with Views Entity Framework option. This will generate the controller views for updating, deleting, and creating and displaying in the data model. In other words, our CRUD operations. All right, so we want MVC5 controller with Views Entity Framework. All right, add. And it comes up with this. Again, you've seen this before. Select student for the model class. Select ours, which is Rankin, for the context class, and keep the name of student's controller. So we want students here. There's a lot of stuff in here. Or student. All right, our data context class. We want it to be, I believe, RTC entities. And we leave everything else set up to the default. And student's controller, which is good, so we're going to click add. And what we should notice is in here previously, and I didn't show it for, unfortunately, I believe there was only a home controller in here. And when we're done, what we should see is not only will there be a home controller in there, there should also be a student's controller in there. All right, so we've got our home. I guess there was an account and a manage, but there's our new student's controller. All right, that's a great start. Click add. We did this. It says if you receive an error, and I've done this before, it's because you didn't build previously like they told you to do. All right, so we now have that. We should also be able to go into shares under views. So go into shared, and we should see there's a students folder with a create, delete, etc. We've got all that stuff in there. We're doing fine right now. It says perform the steps again, but now add a scaffolded item for the enrollment class. When you're finished, it should look very similar. So let's go back. Let's close this and this, and we'll even close this. Now notice we do not have an enrollment one there. All right, so again, I'm going to right mouse click on controllers, choose add, new scaffolded item, MVC5 controller with views using entity framework, add. This time again, we want to choose enrollment from what comes up in here. There it is. We don't have to reselect because it selected it from before. It's enrollments controller. Click add. Take a couple seconds, and then when we open up our controllers folder, we should now have in there our enrollments controller. All right, and there it is. And you can see it's already written a bunch of code in there for us. You've seen this before when we went through our first demo. So I'm not going to run through that. Again, I guess we can. We can look in the views folder, and we can notice now that in views we've got enrollments. All right. So we've got enrollments and we've got students. Okay. Now, to make it easier for you to navigate, we're not told to do anything So we did the enrollment. I think we don't have to do anything with the course. All right, they weren't asked to at least. To make it easier for you to navigate to your own views, you can add a couple of hyperlinks. This is a little bit different. So we want to open up the views home index.cshtml and add the following below the Jumbotron. Now, let's do it like this. Let's go back. Let's save. It's not a bad idea. Let's go back and rebuild our solution. And after it builds, we should get the successful build message. Let's run it to take a look at what it looks like right now. We haven't really run the program yet. And it's a simple, out-of-the-box ASP.NET Model View Controller look. In other words, it should have 3 pages on it: a home page, an about page, and a contact page. The about page and the contact page just basically have a little blurb on there, a little paragraph, and the home page has got some kind of nonsensical stuff that's in there right now. But we're going to change that in just a minute. All right, but I just want to show you what it looks like before we go in and actually add what they tell us to add. All right, so there it is. These don't go anywhere. All right, there's our Jumbotron. And so we're at the home page. The about page, again, just some garbage. Contact page, just some garbage. We can iterate between the two. So everything is looking just fine right now. I'm going to stop the run. I just wanted to show you that, okay? All right, I'm going to stop this run here. And what we're told to do here, oops, sorry about that, is we're told to open up the file at viewshome.index.cshtml and add this. Viewshome.index.cshtml. So viewshome.index.cshtml. And we're told to put that div right underneath our Jumbotron. Let's just give us some area here. And there it is. All right. What did that do? First of all, I've got some errors here. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but let's save and see if we run this if we do get errors. Notice they all went away already. So I'm going to run this. It's much easier to make a change. Run the example to show you what's changed. Now, whatever has changed should be right underneath our Jumbotron. Again, I apologize. My system is running very slow. So there's list of students and list of enrollments. Okay? All right, I'm not going to do anything with that right now unless we're told to. So let's go and check real quick in here. It says for the action link method, which this is, the first parameter is the text to display in the link. So you saw on the link it said list of students and it said list of enrollments. All right. So the second parameter is the action. So in other words, it wants to call the index file. And the third is the controller. So what we're saying is when you click the link that says list of students, what we want to have happen is we want it to open up the index.html file from our student's controller. When we click the hyperlink that says list of enrollments, we want it to open up the index.html file from our enrollments controller. All right? So it says you will verify that the code added worked. So we want to right-click on the index and choose View in Browser. Okay? On this page, click the link for the list of students, and we should get our students. And then I think we want to click the Create New, and it says we can provide a new student. Okay? And you'll see that they've been added. We can click Create. We can delete a new student. All right? And then we're going to do the same thing with enrollment. So let's do it like this. Since we already have this running, let's click on our link that says List of Students. Sorry. And you'll notice that when we do this, there's our 16 students. A little hard to read because it's kind of small. All right. So you'll notice that, for example, I notice that I've got a question mark after Anthony and after Collins. So let's go in and edit, and let's remove those question marks. Save, and it's gone. Let's do it for Colin also. I don't know what the problem was, but there was something. Save. Now, if we wanted to, we could go in and remove all of these times. You get the idea. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to go create new, and I'm going to add myself. So, last name, Scott. First name, Jeffrey. Enrollment date, let's put today. So, 11/03/2017, and click create, and there I am down at the bottom. All right. I can edit my record by clicking the edit button. I can go back to the list. I can click details. I'm not sure even what that does right now. Oh, it brings up just me. Okay, I can go back to the list and I can delete me. And notice it does a good job here. It comes up and it shows me the record that it's about to delete, and it says, are you sure you want to delete this? And I do. So now I'm gone. All right. Now if I go back to my home page, you've already seen that, so let's do the same thing with enrollments. And there are all of our enrollment records. So again, if Tony didn't get or Anthony here did not get notice it's got my last name, it's got my title. I didn't put those in, I don't believe. Maybe I did, I don't know. But let's go in and let's click edit here, and I can change this to a 4. Notice under my course ID, I can change any of those, and under my student ID, this looks wrong. I thought it had, maybe it does have the name for the ID. I guess that would actually make more sense. I'm going to save, and notice that his grade has been changed. All right, I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm going to just leave this up, but I'm going to stop the run here. All right, and I'm going to come over to here and click here. So we did all this. In other words, I just came in here, and I actually had my project running. We could have run just the index.cshtml page. It would have been the same thing. You saw I came in, it showed you my 16 students. I created myself as a new student. I edited myself as a new student. I removed the question marks from 2 current students. Why they were there, I don't know. Then I removed my own record, and you saw how it came in and said, are you sure you want to do this? I did, so boom, everything was cool. All right. Then we did the same thing with enrollment. And you'll notice again for the ID, we had the last name. I didn't do a create there, but we could have. And notice it says here the grade, how it must be a number. Let's actually look at that. That's an important concept. So let's stop. We don't even have this running technically here anymore. Well, we can try it, but I don't think this is going to work now if I click list of enrollments, because I stopped my run. So that's why it says it can't be reached. So I should have kept my run going, and that's still fine. So I want to click the link that asks for the list of enrollments. And we didn't do this before, but let's go in and create a new student. All right, so we'll say the grade, and I'm going to put in this. Notice the field grade must be a number. Well, and it must be a number, and I think that we had a thing on there for size also. All right, maybe it was just an integer, so we'll put in here. In fact, I don't remember what it was put in as. We can go back and take a look at it. So let's say 3. We'll choose our course from here. We'll choose a last name, and I'll just go down to the bottom. We'll choose Ivy. All right, I'll put that in as a new record, and there it is. We don't need that anymore, so we're going to remove it, delete, and it's out of there. So you notice that when we did this, we were able to go in, create a new one. It did validate to make sure that what we put in was a number. All right, so as mentioned here, we have now verified that the automatically generated views allowed us to work with data in the database. In the next tutorial, we were going to update the database. I believe that what we do in this next tutorial is that we come in here and we add a column. We add a column that is for the person's, I believe it's to add the person's middle name. And we come in and we make that particular column, we make it a field that allows nulls. All right, so we're going to go into changing the database. We'll do that momentarily. See you then.